Hey, welcome back to Union Weekly. This is Xander.
This is Haley.
And this is Mr. Schlesinger. We'll be right back to our next episode. All right, we're about to have a recap for the week, so I'll throw it over to Xander and Haley. All right, everyone, we're going to recap this last week. So first off, we have started a debate club, and we had our first kind of informational meeting in my room 1204, downstairs, 8th grade. So if you're interested in joining debate, come see me. I've got a paper for you to look over, and we will be having practices every Thursday from 3 to 4:30. And our first practice will actually be November 2nd.
And this week was also the first yearbook meeting, and I think you can still join it, but you have to get a paper. And there's still musical rehearsals, and CCR is almost done. It is Digital Citizenship Week next week, and Halloween is also coming up. Miss Dimitri has a question on Student Square. I think she posts it every week. If you answer it, you can get a treat during lunch. And tutoring is still Monday and Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m.
Hey, Ms. Zhang.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you on. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role here at Union.
I am what is known as the teacher librarian here at Union Middle School. So essentially, I run the library, the books that are in the library, and any programs that we have in the library. I also support teachers in any teaching and curriculum that they need.
Nice. How long have you been at Union?
I believe this is my 7th year.
Oh, wow. So you've been here for a bit.
I have. I believe I am one of the oldest union members at this point, with Mr. C and Miss Iverson and
I think Miss Hatch.
And Miss Hatch. Yes.
Wow.
Mr. C and I were talking about that the other day, who were some of the oldest here.
That's quite cool. So, I know you wanted to talk about some books because you're the librarian.
Absolutely. So there are actually 2 things I wanted to talk about. The first is to highlight that next week is Digital Citizenship Week in Olive Canyons District. And that is just a time for us to reflect on how we spend our time digitally, how we share, what we share, how we balance our time non-digitally and digitally, and how that impacts us mentally. And so I do have 2 activities that I would love students to get involved with. The first one is challenging students to reduce their screen time. That is their non-productive sort of entertainment time, starting tomorrow afternoon into Sunday, and finding alternative activities, whether that's reading a book, spending time with friends, something different. But they can come pick up a form from me by tomorrow afternoon, get a parent to sign it, verifying they've done it, and then they can bring it to me next week, and they will earn a treat. And then next week on the website, I will have a quizzes game that they can do, anyone can do. And if they complete the game, they can also come and get a treat from me. And that game is on digital citizenship.
Wow, that's really cool.
And then the second thing I wanted to talk about is, of course, reading. Okay, and there's 2 things I wanted to address. First, the power of reading. Reading is great, and not a lot of people know this, but reading can actually reduce stress by about 62%. It is actually more helpful in reducing stress than taking a walk, listening to music, playing a sport. And so that is why I'm so passionate about getting people to read for pleasure. The second thing I want to say is that I think everyone is a reader, and it's about building that readership. So if you think you have a child that is not a reader, I do have some suggestions. The 3 I have is helping your child to select books. Sometimes if I talk a book, I guarantee that book always gets checked out. Reading together with the child the first couple of chapters, even halfway through the book, and getting them hooked. And then lastly, start simple, like 5 minutes a day required reading. And a good example I want to give with that is I actually have a reluctant reader daughter, and I select books for her, and she is required to read for me at least a chapter a night or 20 minutes. She can choose. And what I find is every time she starts a book, We have the fight of 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. But when she gets halfway through the book, I don't even ask her. She's like hooked, and she goes for the book. Last night, she was like, Mom, I'm going to go read my Hunger Games book. I'm in a really good part of the book. And this happens at every book I choose. Yes, we do it. We fight, but then like we get halfway and she's hooked. And so it works. Trust me, it works. And then finally, I want to do this thing where I'm hoping you guys will let me come back on at least just once a month to recommend some books. But my two for this month are, I just finished The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because it is a movie coming out.
Great book.
I love this book. I'm not going to give anything away, but if you want to know how Snow's mind kind of changes and turns to that evil, this is the book that kind of gets you into his head. But the ending, oh my God, the ending like hooked me and shocked me. So you've got to get there.
It's a great book.
Okay, it's a great book.
The movie comes out November 17th.
You already know.
November 17th.
Do it for a while.
Read the book, right? The second one, if you are a basketball fan, The Crossover by Kwame Alexander. So beautifully written. It is written in poetry form, so it is super fast, but what is done so well is it's a story about these twins who are superstar basketball players on their team, and the description of the game, the games they play in poetry style is beautifully written, but it tells about the brothers' relationship and their relationship with the father and how they kind of collide because a girl gets in the middle of it. It's just such a fun read. So I do recommend The Crossover as well.
Wow, those are, I bet, some amazing books from what you've said.
Yeah.
I read one of them. It's really good.
I'm reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes right now.
So get to the end.
I'm excited to see the movie. Looks good.
Me too. So I've got a question for you. If you could live in any book, what book would you live in and why?
Oh, that is such a hard question because I read so many books. So many. The one that I loved most recently, but I have to tell you, it was an adult book. It was The Fourth Wing, and it's the most popular right now. Would I want to live in that dragon world where I'm competing to ride a dragon? I think so. It was pretty cool. So that was my recent read. But if I had to pick a children's book, I think Ichabod, which is written by wow, I can't believe I'm forgetting the author of Harry Potter, which is crazy.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
She wrote Ichabod, and it's such a completely different world from Harry Potter. It's just a really cool talent of like rumors and mystery and all of that. And it's kind of like that Loch Ness monster feel. So that's a really neat place.
Nice. What do you like to do in your free time?
I am a big outdoorsy person, and so I enjoy hiking. And a lot of people don't know this, but I do suffer through Taekwondo 4 nights a week. I don't know that that's one of my favorite things to do at free time, but I really have to motivate myself to go.
Nice.
Do you have any crazy stories to share with us?
When you say crazy stories, you mean things. Any crazy story?
Yeah.
It could be anything, or about Union if you wanted to.
Gosh, I don't know the many that I should think of right off the top of my head. So I can't right now.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks.
All right, so for the announcements this week, fall break is next week, Thursday through Monday.
And attention to those who bring skateboards to school. We are now assigning lockers to those students who have requested one. If you bring a skateboard to school, you can't have it anywhere but the locker. If you need a locker, go to the main office, let them know you'd like one, or go to the newsletter to sign up for one.
Remember, no gum or drinks in classes. Your teachers will not be happy. And you still must wear your lanyards at all times. Do not share your ID number with your friends because they should get their lunch with their own number. And you can still get lunch without your badge.
Tutoring is still after school on Mondays and Thursdays from 3 to 4 p.m. in the 7th grade pods. Upstairs is ELA and history, and downstairs is DLI. No.
Oh, DLI is upstairs. Downstairs is science, math, and health.
Yeah. as Ms. Zhang was on earlier, her library is still not quite done yet. However, she does have a temporary library in upstairs 8th grade in 2308.
If your family could use a little extra food on the weekends, check the newsletter to sign up for food bags.
All 8th graders, remember, you gotta have a CCR. You should probably do your CCR appointment. It is very critical for high school. So you can find out all the information you need to know. And there's also rewards of an Apple Watch, AirPods, Kindle, up to a value of $180.
Students, don't forget to answer Ms. Dimitri's question on Parent Square. What does respect for others look like to you? She'll be handing out Capri Suns at lunches tomorrow and Friday.
Picture retakes for the 24th.
The PTSA Union Hike is on October 30th. More information is on Student Square.
And Halloween is the 31st. And also, Bobcat Market is opening up next week, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Just as a reminder for everyone, next Wednesday, October 18th, is the last day for you to turn in any work in all your classes. There will be no more extensions. October 18th is the last day, so that way teachers have time to put in your grades before the quarter ends. So make sure you get in all missing work and all redos by October 18th. Okay, and here is Mr. S's question of the day that if you come to my room and answer, then I will give you a whole bunch of PBIS points to spend at the Bobcat Market. So I just need you to come in and tell me any sports movie. And if someone says my favorite one, I will give you even more PBIS points if someone happens to say my favorite. So that is it. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.